Hi fishy folks, and happy Sunday fun day to you. Today is going to be a super informative video on how to care for guppy fry. Before we get started with the knowledge drop, do me a favor, go ahead and obliterate that subscription button. Just annihilate it. For those of you that are new to the channel, what that means is go ahead and hit the subscription button so you become a subscriber. And then when you're done with that, go ahead and gently boop the notification bell. Just caress it lightly. Again, if you don't know what that means, go ahead and hit the notification bell so you know when I drop a new video or go live. And of course, when you're done with all that, do me a favor, go ahead and check out michaelsfishroom.com. Now, speaking of michaelsfishroom.com, probably the last time I'm going to ship this year is going to be October 19th, which is a Saturday. And the reason for that is I'm going on a business trip for 5 weeks, so I won't be able to ship during that time, obviously. And when I get back, it's going to be the middle of November. And I probably won't be able to ship because it'll be too cold. And then we have Thanksgiving through Christmas rush, and it'll be too cold. So realistically, the latest you can place your order and expect that I'll be able to ship your fish this year is October 17th. And again, I need to fast the fish for 2 days before I ship, which will be the 19th. I'm fine. By the way, hit up teespring.com, link in the description below for a Cough Cough I'm Fine t-shirt. Alright fishy folks, hope you grab a snack and a beverage, make it an extra large snack and beverage. Let me know in the comments below what said snack and said beverage are. This might be a long one. So let's talk about guppy fry and how to care for them. And the reason for this video is a customer of mine, Johnny Goldfish, who I met at the Super Cichlids grand opening a couple weeks ago. I met him and his fantastic daughter Ashlyn. Ashlyn is a young lady who asks all kinds of really smart questions about guppies and guppy fry. And a couple days later they placed an order. They're local, so we met at a local Wawa, and I gave Ashlyn a couple extra guppies, a different strain than they had ordered, just because she was a great kid, and I love kids in the hobby. So a couple days ago, I got an email from them. Hey, the guppies, the mutt guppies had babies. What do I feed them? And so I just answered, you know, crushed up flake food, because that's the easiest thing, and most people have flake food. And then he sent an email that said, oh, I should have known you had videos on it on your channel. I watched those. Thank you so much. Okay. So it got me thinking, like, to me, feeding guppies and taking care of guppy fry is second nature, but if you're not a live bearer guy or gal, you might not know what to do. If you're, you know, if all your fish that you breed or have ever bred are egg layers, you might not know what to do. So this is just going to be a dumbed down version, because I'm a dumb guy with a camera, on how I take care of guppy fry, and really all live bearer fry, as far as I know. I just want to, you know, caution you. This is what works for me. This is what I do in my fish room every day, and hopefully it works for you. But if it doesn't, don't blame me. I don't know why it didn't work. All right, so first let's talk about the environment. Now, some people, when they breed guppies, they pull the females and put them in breeder boxes. I don't like to do that. I think it stresses them out. Plus, it's a lot of work with 55 tanks and my travel and work and real life schedule. So I colony breed. And what that means is I have plenty of cover in the tank, and the mama and daddy guppies live with the babies. Now, I probably lose some guppies because guppy fry are tender and delicious. And if they'll fit into the mama and dada's mouth, they will eat them. Again, tender and delicious. But that's why I have plenty of hiding spots. All the tanks have some sort of live plant, mostly Java moss. That's what I like. But any live floating plant, even fake plants or Easter grass, you know, the plastic Easter grass, you can use that to hide for fry, or hiding spots for fry. So typically what happens is the mama guppy will go into, you know, the weeds somewhere when it's dark and drop the fry. And the fry will stay in there. Now we got to talk about food. They'll stay in there until they're big enough and old enough to see and swim and might not get eaten. So they're going to eat the microorganisms and biofilm off the live plants that they're hiding and that they were born in. But after that, you're going to have to supplement their food, especially if you want them to grow quicker. So my favorite fry food of all time is Smartemia by Cobalt. Now, it's got prebiotics and probiotics. It floats and sinks, which is pretty cool how it does that. It's magic, basically. But I love the ingredients. Prawns, silkworm pupae, corn, jumbo squid meal, dried kelp, dried seaweed, dried spinach, garlic. So it's got great stuff. 42% protein, very little moisture. It is my favorite fry food that I feed. I also really like the Northfin fry starter, which I believe is 100% krill. Now the krill gold or krill, pellets, I think that's only 85% krill, but that's what I have right now, the krill pro. I bought a big 6 mil bag for Chewy, and he doesn't like it. So as you know, and I've done videos on this before, this is an electric pepper mill. You can use the old school, but I like that because I have 55 tanks. Anyway, I put the krill, the big krill, in here. There's also some other cobalt predator sticks that Chewy doesn't particularly care for either. So I just put them in here and grind it up and feed guppies. This grinds it small enough for fry and adults. And I'll put a link to this in the description below. I'll also put a link to the old school one that I used to use, but that got to be a pain in the butt with all these tanks. So I won't think, plus it's easier for Lucas to do. Besides the Smartemia and fry starter, I really like, well, I'm starting to try this New Life Spectrum Grow. 45% protein, great ingredients, giant squid, whole Antarctic krill, whole wheat flour, some fish, whole fish that I can't pronounce. Menhaden? I don't even know what that is. Omega-3 fish oil. It's like 5 mil or 0.5 mil, but it's just about small enough for fry. I wouldn't feed it to newborn fry. I think it's too big. They could, put it in their mouth and kind of suck on it and eat it a little bit, but if they're going to actually ingest the whole thing, it's a little big. So maybe a week or two old fry. And certainly guppies. This is, so far, has been pretty good. But crushed up flake food, as long as it's a high quality flake, is really the only thing you need, if that's what you have. If you're looking to breed faster, obviously you're going to go with something else. Maybe a little higher protein content. Frozen foods, you could also use baby brine shrimp, of course, if you're going to hatch it, or frozen baby brine shrimp. Excuse me. Bloodworms would be okay. They're a little big, but you can get them small. And Daphnia, some other stuff, of course, you could use. But the other things you're going to need to do for Guppy Fry Care or Live Bearer Fry Care is cover the intake. If you don't have a sponge filter, even a box filter, if you have a hang-on back or canister filter, you're going to need to cover that intake so the Guppy Fry don't get sucked up into the tank, into the filter. So I like to use Pinky filter floss, and what I do is just wrap it around the intake filter, and so the guppies can't get sucked in there. You could buy Pinky filter floss on Amazon. I'll put a link. You can go to their website. But you can also use it for just your hang-on back filter. Just wire tie it to the little plastic frame, and boom, you have your own filters. I use this stuff all the time in the fish room. Temperature in the tank. Now, if you have a heater and your tank is set at 78 or whatever, it's fine. If you kick it up a couple degrees, maybe 80, 81, 82, the guppy and guppy fry will grow faster. But no, it speeds up their metabolism, which eventually will shorten their life. So I was asked the question, do you heat your tanks, just recently actually, by a subscriber, and no, I don't. I have 2 heaters in the fish room. One of them is in Chewy's tank because he needs it to be hotter, and I think I have 1 heater in another tank, the Jarwi Lazuli tank, but I don't even think it's plugged in. So the fish room is right now 74.3 degrees. That's probably the temperature of the water in the tanks, or close to that. So we took care of housing the fish, we took care of feeding the fish, we took care of the filter. If you're going to do gravel vacs, you're going to have to be careful. I don't gravel vac most of my tanks because I like them on, but if you're one of those people that don't like them on, that's fine. I would spot clean with Airline tubing instead of a big, you know, Python hose. It's much easier not to catch fry in a little tiny Airline tube than it is a Python tube. You could also cover the end, but you're probably not going to get much detritus up through whatever you covered the end is. Like if you were to use this, you wouldn't get any detritus. Speaking of covering up, if you can't get pinky filter floss or you don't have it for your intake, you can find an intake sponge online. Plenty of people sell them. You can use pantyhose if you have extra or ripped. I've seen people use plastic screen, like, you know, for a screen for a window. They make plastic, and you just cut that and wire tie it to the bottom. All that stuff works. Just need to make sure the holes are small enough where the guppy fry don't get sucked up in there. All right, fishy folks, I think that does it for Guppy Fry Care. It's really not that difficult. The biggest thing is making sure you have enough hiding spots for the guppy fry to hide in so that they're not eaten, because they are tender and delicious. All right, fishy folks, any comments or questions, shoot me an email, michaelsfishroom@gmail.com. Also down below, don't forget to check out all my Amazon links. If you just think about clicking on them, Amazon will think about sending me money, which is cool, so I like that. And hope everyone has a great day. See ya. I'm fine. And the reason for that is on October 21st, which is a Monday, I fly to, I don't even know dates, so let's start this over. Hi fishy folks, and happy Sunday fun day to you. Today's video is going to be all about Guppy Fry Care. Do me a favor guys, before we get started in this very informative video, go ahead and obliterate that subscription button. Gently boop the notification bell, and check out michaelsfishroom.com, where you can buy guppies and plecos that I breed right here in my fish room. Speaking of michaelsfishroom.com, if you're looking to get any guppies or plecos from me this year, you need to have your order in by the 17th. The last day I'll be shipping is the 19th, which is a Saturday, and the reason for that is on the 21st, I'm going on a business trip for 5 weeks, and when I get back, it's going to be the middle of November, which, if the weather's okay, there's probably a week or so in there that I will be able to ship. But then Thanksgiving and the Christmas rush, so I usually don't ship between Thanksgiving and Christmas unless the weather is really good, which it never is. And then we got, you know, January and February, where it's going to be, you know, pretty cold, maybe too cold to ship. So get your orders in now. Mutts, quite frankly, are just about sold out. I sold so many mutts for the sale after the I brought the mutts in from the outdoor ponds that I don't have very many left, and most of them are juveniles. So anyway, let's get started in the video. That was a dumb introduction. And then when you're done with, holy Jesus. My favorite fry food